Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. As above, so below. Y'all know we kick it with our Bible study today. This is Mercurial Energy. I want to say first of all, salutations to my Madrina, to my Padrino, to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. My name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To all of my air signs, water signs, earth signs, and fire signs, salutations, and welcome to my live. On my live, I teach universal laws because universal laws apply to each and every one of us. Especially my this live and all my lives are dedicated to melanated people that practice the dark arts, melanin, energy work. No matter if you what tradition you are in, whether you're in the church, out of the church, we all are energy and frequency and vibration. And so therefore, what I try to do as a Sagittarius, my moon is in Aries and rising sign Pisces. I try to give out knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I'm here to resonate who I resonate with. I have been doing magic since I was a child, 3 to 4 years old. I'm 52 years of age. And I've been doing conjure or Haitian voodoo. I'm also crowned Mafedifun Oya, and I've been crowned Babalu Aye. I've been scratched into Palo. I am a Tata Nkisi. I have my cauldrons, and so I've been dealing with energy when it comes to the African tradition for years. What I share is my experience. Everybody's experience is going to be different, but I want to talk about today to bring more clarity to the earth plane. And I often have said the most important commodity that every person has is their energy signature, their energy frequency. It has very little to do with your tradition. It has more to do with you understanding who you are in your energy and frequency and why you came to this earth plane. To understand destiny, to understand reciprocity in all the universal laws, to understand purpose, you have to understand the earth plane and why you as an entity, why you as a spirit will come down to this realm and choose the bloodline you choose to choose the set of circumstances. If you are about evolving yourself, if you are a god or goddess, or you are entity, and you are trying to evolve yourself, then you're going to go to a place where it gives you the most resistance. And a lot of times when you are here with the physical body, the lower self, you ask, why am I going through this, or why am I dealing with this? And your higher self understands purpose. So let me give you an example. When Yahshua had to go to the cross, the concept of the Bible, and he understood Judas' purpose. See, you stop getting mad with people when you know that they are part of your purpose. And without the betrayal of Judas, then we have no cross. We have no crucifixion. And then we have no resurrection. Purpose, when people play their role, it's like in a movie. You know, people have to die off in the movie. You know that people have to betray in a movie. Somebody has to play that role in order for you to develop. So if you are Sagittarius like I am, or you're Aquarius, or you are Scorpio, or whatever your zodiac sign, and you're trying to maximize your potential in the gym, because that's what Earth is, a gymnasium. It is a place in a facility that divine beings challenge themselves. The God particle, you challenge yourself. This is why the whole concept challenge yourself. This is why the whole concept that Yahshua was trying to teach in real Christianity that came out of Kemet, it was about development. It was about him fulfilling a purpose. It was about him fulfilling a destiny. A lot of times when you forget, sorry, I'll get out of the sun. When you forget your destiny, if you go through the ATRs, they will constantly talk. Thank you for tapping that screen. They will constantly talk about your purpose. They will talk about your destiny. They will talk about your ancestry. All these things are leading you to what you're practicing and what you are experiencing. And every last one of us as melanated people realize that if you had not had certain experiences, you would not have certain wisdom. People want gain without pain. I'm going to say that again. People want gains in their life. They want victories in their life without struggle and resistance. And it doesn't matter whether you're coming up in Christianity, whether you're coming up in Ifa, whether you're coming up in Voodoo, whether you're coming up as a mystic or a believer of any sort. It still is about your energy and how you navigate in this life, how you take care of your temple, your body, your Merkaba. These are the things that we choose to come down here to the earth plane, to the gymnasium. What's up, Nicole, my pretty melanated woman? I think I seen Monique come in. What's up, my Monique Fofo? So if you're asking the question about manifestation and you're trying to understand, because this is our Bible study day, and basically Mercury is healing and intellect, strategy, analytics. It's also the fastest moving planet in this solar system. And therefore, when you are moving in this energy is about also, it's called the tricksters, because when a person is not specific about what they want, I hear people all the time, I want to be healed. Not realizing that is a general statement. Not realizing that process of healing can happen on so many levels. So therefore, a lot of times people do not benefit from their requests because they lack understanding of what they're requesting. Just because you petition the divine, whether divine mother or father, whether you deal with ancestors, whatever your higher self, it don't matter. The mere fact that you have little understanding of what your request is, how general your request is, how non-specific your request is, because manifestation can come to you unaware because simply you don't know what to look for. It's like when you make an order in a restaurant and there's more than one type of seafood on that menu. You specifically point to what you're looking for, and a good server will always verify your order. This is why some of us get confirmations, whether it is in church through prophecy, whether it's through a reading of source or a form of divination. This is you confirming what you requested. And so a lot of times people don't understand a lot of the responsibility of your manifestation is on you. I don't care how good the cooks are, the service is at the restaurant. When you don't know what you want, When you have not counted the cost of the things that may come along with what you requested. Because sometimes when you order something, a salad may come with it, or dinner rolls, or bread, a glass of water. Every restaurant is different. When you're requesting, depending on your belief system, and depending, especially if you're melanated, the fact that you don't understand your bioenergy, the fact that you don't understand that you are the microcosm of the universe, the mere fact that you're seeking popularity rather than fame. So let me explain what I mean by on this earth realm. You can be popular because of its aesthetics. You can be popular because you're saying the things that people want to hear. But if you're infamous for being a man or woman that is known for truth, knowing that we're in the age of Aquarius, that facts matter to you, you may not be popular, but you will be infamous or famous because people will never forget. She told me that. He told me that. And when you don't value certain things, I'm going to say this, melanated people, when you don't value your energy, you will hear everything outside of yourself. I'm going to say that again. When you don't value yourself, you don't have self-worth, you don't have self-esteem, you lack in these areas. The voices of others or anything outside of self will become more valuable to you rather than the voices within. If you're not confirming what my inner spirit has told me, you're not in an alignment of what has already been spoken of my destiny, I know to reject that information. I don't necessarily have to reject the person, but I will reject that information, because information leads into knowledge, and knowledge leads into action. And I don't need to, if I don't want your destiny, if I don't want to experience some of the things I'm going to not apply that to my life. A lot of people blame other folks for confusing them. I'm going to say that again. A lot of folks, thank you for the likes and the joins. A lot of people blame other folks for confusing you. If you wasn't confused in the first place, then nobody can confuse you. God is not the author of confusion. So your God, and on the inside of you, your divine goddess or divine God on the inside of you would let you know what applies to you. That's when people say, if it don't apply, let it fly. Some of you guys do not spend enough time with yourself. You engage with everything on this earth plane other than yourself. Grand Rising, honey. How you doing? One of the things that I do as a Sagittarius is I never try to tell people how to think and what to do. And I'm going to explain the dangers of that. My mom is a Virgo. There are certain people in all these traditions that do not have no problem telling people what to do. When you insist on other people following your advice or your instruction, you become liable. What I don't like about that situation is the average person, if something goes wrong, they don't like to be accountable for the advice or the insight that they claim that you needed. Responsible people understand that every man and woman has a right to live their life however they so choose. They don't have a right to affect other people and what they choose for their life. I'm drinking that acai. You think a lot of your problems has to do with magic and spirituality. A lot of the problems, the reason why you don't know who to be with and who to listen to, because you don't know who you are. My spiritual dad was a very businessman. He was very witty. He taught me a lot when it came to spirituality and just home life in general. The reason why I knew that he was for me and he was my teacher is I resonated. My other brothers and sisters that he was teaching, they all had a problem with his personality, and they had a problem with because he cursed every word just about he said. But he reminded me of my grandmother and my family, so that wasn't a big thing to me. And what I tell people, when it's about what you need, when it's about your essentials, not your wants, it's certain people that have what you need. And you don't allow a personality, your like or dislike, to stand between you and getting what you need. Because your first allegiance is to self. And you don't betray self because of a personality clash. You don't deny self a fulfillment because somebody is a challenge. No, you meet that challenge because you know at the end of the day, you're going to evolve, you're going to develop. What's up there? I think that's Sweetie B. Yeah, that's who that is. And so what people don't understand, when I get on social media, I have an understanding that everybody don't want truth. I understand that people got a right to bypass knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Maybe they want to vibrate in certain levels of poverty. Maybe they want to exist in certain levels of sickness. I remember the scripture in the Bible when Yahshua was speaking, and the people wanted to know why this child was blind. And they had come to the conclusion that the child was blind because of the sins of the parents. And Yahshua, see, people will come to their own conclusion of why you're going through what you're going through or not going through. And they don't have the answer. And this is why it's important to have the answer within you. So Yahshua said these words. He said, this child is not blind because of the sins of the parents. He said, but that the glory of God be revealed. And what that meant was, if you are a healer, somebody could be sick. How can your gift make manifest? There's always a supply and a demand. In order for me to fulfill my destiny as a healer, I got to attract sick people. In order for me to break curses, I got to attract cursed people. Come on here, somebody. See, when you understand purpose and why that's why I don't chase, I attract. Come on here, somebody. Everybody that shows up in your life is not going to be positive, because your job and your gift is to transmute negative energy into positive energy. This authenticates your purpose. This authenticates your mission. This authenticates your gift. There will always be room for your presence, because there is a demand for your arche, your energy, your frequency, your vibration, your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences. This is why when you see people out here envious and jealous, that's because they're ignorant. They're ignorant of themselves. And so they feel like if you have, that means they don't have. And all of us get our daily bread, whether you believe in Christianity or not. They would have never allowed you to come to the earth realm if there was not room for you. I'll say it again. If it was no purpose for you to be on this timeline, you would not exist. Thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate that, y'all. Let me explain something to you. When it's time for you to know what you need to know, your ancestors, your energy will bring you before the person with the gift. The king had a dream. And in the dream, he forgot the dream. But Daniel was serving a God that was a revealer, that would speak the mysteries of the unseen. This is ruled by Scorpio, the hidden occult. And so therefore, when you don't understand your purpose and why you have your energy and you have your Ache, then certain events that take place in your life, you have little to no understanding. But when you understand that I'm a Sagittarius, when you understand that I'm a Cancer, when you understand that I'm a Gemini, and my elements have purpose, then things start clicking. Things start making sense. The dots are connected. And therefore, you have a different type of peace. You have a different type of understanding. When I say to people, money ain't your problem, they look at me crooked. What do you mean money ain't my problem? The Bible says, if you're a water sign, to cast your bread upon the waters, and not many days it shall return. So that means that you have to understand when you cast that bread, and how long would it take for that bread to get back to you? So timing is essential if you're a water sign. If you're an earth sign, you plant that seed into the ground, and over seasons and through process of the earth element, you manifest a harvest. See, you would understand the science behind your energy, and so therefore it removes the doubt. This all happens on the earth plane. When you are an air sign, you understand the air element is about atmosphere. It's about what you speak in that atmosphere. It's about what you write in that atmosphere. You become the living epistle. You become the living word. With fire sign, it's all about action. It's all about enlightenment. See, when you understand purpose, you understand the pressures that you have to contend with on this earth plane. Because after all, it's a training facility. And you as a divine God or goddess decided to come down here and to have these different types of experiences with the intention of overcoming. But the reason why some of us lack these things and lack the energy, first of all, you don't have proper fuel. How can your car move without proper fuel? So we have to have the proper energy source by which we get our energy, and that fuels our melanin, our melanated bodies, our copper bodies. And so that anything that you are digesting that is against nature, is against your understanding of your temple. These are the things that melanated people. I did a video. I did 2 videos on my YouTube page. Very insightful. Let me tell y'all something, and I'm gonna drop this to you and understand what I'm for to say. Thank you so much. You cannot miss. You cannot be thirsty or hungry for something you never had. If you don't ever give yourself an opportunity to experience certain things, then you don't know what you're missing out. So what I'm saying on today, you don't know how essential what I'm saying may apply to you if you don't have the experience. If you have never been around somebody with the type of energy and frequency I have, and I tell people this oftentimes, when you come on my lives, you will find yourself saying amen and agreement. But you will also find yourself not applying that same knowledge that you just amen and you came into agreement with. And that's what I call self-betrayal. Because this is for you. If you are melanated, my platform is for melanated people. And no matter if you ever participate in any of the black arts that I participate in, the truth is still the truth. Facts are still facts. We're in the age of Aquarius. It's too many people want to create their own facts instead of facts. When we have universal laws that operate and flow in nature and also flow when it comes to the cosmos. And how you cultivate, how you facilitate your energy, your frequency, and your vibration. Understand that that's why you live in certain realities. We have stardust. So what that means, when Rihanna said we are diamonds in the sky, that we come from the universe. And therefore, with that understanding that we are the microcosm or the smaller version of the universe, we start understanding that there's certain battles that we have on this earth plane that are not ours. I'm gonna say that again. You will know how to pick your battles when you understand your purpose. One thing that I noticed in the scripture, which I said to myself early in my journey in Christianity, I said, I could never do that. I said, you gonna sit at a table and realistic, every one of them gonna deny you in one form or another. All your disciples. But one in particular gonna betray you. And you ain't call now one of them the devil. You ain't you didn't call now one of them demons. The average one of us would have so much bad behavior when we confronted with those type of energy. We would have responded so incorrectly. And I was saying to myself, I didn't know I was going to go through something similar to that. But I was saying to myself, I don't have the character. I'm fire sign. I'm all pop off. How am I going? I was mesmerized. But as you evolve and you understand your purpose, you stop taking things personal. You understand that certain things got to take place. In order for me to be on top, I got to come from the bottom. When I heard a prophecy about how great and wonderful and all this deliciousness that I would become in this life, I did not know I was going to have to go through the path that I was going to have to go through. When Joseph got the dream, he was in comfort. When the fulfilling of that dream started coming to pass, he was in the pit. He was in the prison. He was accused. He was abused. See, when people ain't telling you about your destiny, and then I have to explain it to you that there are certain things on this earth plane that has to condition you to be that vessel, to be that person, to be all those things which are being declared in a reading or in an etah or in a prophecy. If you were mature, you would expect certain things to come along with me work. If I'm in the gym and I'm working out for the benefit of my health. I'm working out for the benefit of my organs. I'm working out for the benefit of being energized. What? Then I understand that I'm gonna be sore. It's certain things that you should be consciously expecting to deal with as an earth sign, as a fire sign, as a air sign, as a water sign. But how many people are caught off guard? Hey, Empress, how many people are caught off guard when it comes to life? Because you want to make it about who your mommy is, who your daddy is, all this physical stuff. When energetically, you are a soul that's having a human experience. Whatever form of ATR that you get in order to be enlightened of your path or your understanding, melanated people, this world was never created to be easy. All that gym equipment where you go to work out, it was never created to be easy. It was created to achieve certain goals. I'm gonna say that again. Everything here on earth, whatever you need is in the earth. But how you get it, you got to work for it. You got to fight for it. I tell people when they pray and say, God, bless me with a diamond. Because you don't understand how a diamond is made. The formation of that diamond. Because in your mind, you're thinking about the polished diamond on a ring, or diamond earrings, or a diamond necklace. That's where your mind is. But universe manifests the raw nature of the energy. And so when coal shows up, because you don't have an understanding of how diamond is made, you reject the very thing you asked for. When you don't know how a pearl is made, and when that clam shows up in your life, you reject it because you say that I requested a pearl, but you don't understand the irritation that clam has to go through to produce that manifestation. And the same is true when people don't understand energy, frequency, and vibration. They don't understand what a conjurer, a intercessor, a prayer, what a Reiki master has to go through, and the energy they got to produce to bring about a certain manifestation. Whether it's hoodoo or voodoo, you will respect, you will respect what your spirits and your spirit guides had to go through to get you where you are at your healing. See, the reason why y'all run into a lot of no's, because you don't want to put the work in to have understanding. The Bible says that the woman had spent all she had with doctors. She spent everything she had, but she didn't stop searching. Because she thought the physicians, see, when you don't know where your healing is, come on here somebody, and you don't know who has your healing, you will seek out examples and experiences of disappointment. But when you understand who and what is your source, it limits your disappointments. Hold on, y'all. See, I don't have, I'm not a pep rally preacher. So anything that stirs me is coming from a real place. The hardest thing to get melanated people to understand is that everything starts within yourself. But that's too much work for the average person. And so therefore, you're always looking for what you desire to be in the possession of somebody that is a loved one or somebody you call a partner in life. And then you make these people responsible for a feeling, a thought, or an existence that you want somebody else to manifest for you when it's well within your divine right to manifest it for yourself. And therefore, you attract people based off of needs. You're still using your magic. You're still using your melanin. But you are attracting people to fulfill a role in your life. Because you refuse to do the work that is necessary for you to attract people that complement your life. Energy don't lie. Frequency don't lie. A personal development, you will never maximize your purpose in whatever you play. And you will all feel like this person is in the same thing I'm in, but they're excelling. Because they understand that they are the extension of anything that exists. I understand that my church is an extension of me. And if I'm not everybody's cup of tea, then my ministry ain't gonna be everybody's cup of tea. See, certain things don't offend me. When I choose to walk in a certain frequency and vibration as a Sagittarius, I realize by me speaking certain truths, by me walking into a seeker of truth, and when somebody is not in that alignment, then we're never gonna gel. They may benefit from the things I say or do, but they're not going to abide. They're not going to reside. And so therefore, I'm already content. Before anything ever happens, I'm already expecting certain things. This is why you hear me constantly say, I'm here for who resonates with me. Because those are the people that are going to stick. And let me tell you something. The whole concept with the disciples, even though it came out of Kemet, Egyptology, all of them had issues. You can't use your flaws as an excuse not to manifest. You can't use your inadequacies as an excuse not to manifest, because you're still melanin. I'm going to say that again. You're still melanin. And the truth of the matter is, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, if you have certain things that you have need of, it's always manifesting. But you have a problem with the presentation. If my child was sick and I had somebody that I have called an enemy that had healing power, and I could not heal my child on my own, there's no way that I am going to allow the condition of my relationship with that said person to keep my child from walking in wholeness. Come on here, somebody. See, there's certain people that have been trained in how they look at life and how they look at circumstance and situation. And they allow who they like or dislike. Because the person who you like does not have what you need. The person that you are not in agreement with has what you have need of. And there's no way that I'm not going to walk in my complete healing, or my child walk in that they walk in their healing or well-being, because I can't get beyond myself to allow this person to help me. Come on, somebody. To help me. I may never practice voodoo, but you help me. I may never practice hoodoo, but you help me. You have helped my marriage. You have helped my health. What is unfamiliar does not mean it is not needful or necessary. I'm going to say that again. What is unfamiliar to you, and you never walk in energy, frequency, or vibration, or God like that, or God is like that, it doesn't mean what they're offering is not needful and essential to your development. And if you understood your energy, your frequency, and your vibration, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Whether you bald head, whether you fat, crazy, or you good looking and fine and delicious like me. Because I am a Sagittarius. You will get what you need. How many of us, especially holistically, understand that bitter herbs clean you, purify you, naturally and spiritually? But do they taste good? Bitter to the taste, but sweet to the soul. When you are mature, you understand that. There's some bitter relationships you had to bite down in. But it matured you, and you got the nectar from those relationships. And that's why you evolve into what you have evolved into. But without that bitterness, because everything sweet ain't good for you. You got to have a balance with bitter and sweet. And most of us want everything comfortable. And ain't nothing wrong with some comfort. But when it's time to transition and to transform and to be prepared for the next reality, you got to come out your comfort zone. That's you, me, and anybody else. You melanated. You're here for evolution. So don't make this about the United States. I've never told anybody not to acknowledge certain oppressions, but they don't stop your destiny. What I can say, in spite of what you're going through, if you finish your course, it's a necessary growth. Archie, beautiful soul. Thank you so much. Let me explain something that my mama told me. And I'm going to say this over and over till I leave this earth. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. When you say out your mouth, why this so hard? That is your immaturity speaking. If it was easy to evolve, everybody would be there. If it was easy to overcome certain sicknesses, everybody be doing. These things come out by fasting and prayer. You ain't put in that type of prayer and fast in order to achieve that goal. So no, it's going to be hard. It's going to be even harder for you. How much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding have you rejected because you're in comfort zone? Everything is not about what you don't know. A lot of times you don't apply what you know because you're in a place of comfort. And it takes certain events in your life for your ancestors to get you out that comfort zone, because you ain't going to do it willingly. See, when you're honest about who you are and why things are going on, then you don't complain. Because if you would get up and transition like you're supposed to, you would need certain current events in your life. See, you were born to be a medicine woman, using that example. But you ain't going to go and study the herbs. So they allow sickness come in your life. And you turn to man, and man fail you, and now you got to turn to them herbs. But that was the whole purpose of why they allowed you to have that event, because you weren't going to get up on your own, melanated people, and do what you're supposed to do. So therefore you had to have an escort to your destiny. See, when you can't be trusted, you got to have somebody to escort you to the prom, to the dance, to whatever God got for you, because you can't be trusted to do what you're supposed to do on your own. Now you got to have training wheels because you don't want to get up and do what you need to do. See, I'm at peace being a practitioner of the black arts. I'm not here to explain. I'm not even here to justify. See, you do too much explaining because you want validation from people that you're okay and you still a good person. I don't care what people think about me. I'm a true Sagittarius, December 15th. But that ain't everybody's testimony, and I don't try to make that everybody's testimony. But it's a superpower to help Sagittarius navigate in this life. And Pisces, I got a Pisces rising. They also feel the same way. They in their own world. And if you ain't trying to fit in that world to comply their fantasies, it's a no-go. So I digress. I feel like Sophia on Golden Girls. This earth plane ain't gonna change for you, me, and nobody else. So buckle up, slut puppy, because you're gonna go for a ride. And whether you answer that call now or later, whether you pay now or later, that's all up to you. Whether you live in the delusion that your family is the reason why you're going through what you're going through, whether you say it's society, the reason why you're going through what you're going through, whatever excuse you want to come up with, however long you dwell in that delusion, you keep harmful relationships to justify your pain and your abuse. Some of y'all in a house that there ain't no locked doors, no locked windows, but because you don't want to work. My grandma said this, and she said all the time. She said a Negro that don't want to work or go for anything. You will be surprised what people are dealing with, so they don't have to get out in life and be independent and self-sufficient. So you're trading off your dignity, your self-respect, your own personal accomplishment in order to be cared for. You want to be taken care of like a child and respected as an adult. If that ain't a contradiction. You want to be treated like a man and a hero, but you want to be taken care of like a child. I don't care what religion, tradition you in. We all got roles to play, gay, straight, or bi. So certain realities that we ask for, it's not feasible because we don't live in that energy. The chances of you hearing country music on an R&B station is slim to none. Some of you guys want to look at situations talking about, oh, it happened for her. They said that was a 1 in a million chance. A million more chances got to happen for that one person to get that manifestation. When the man was at the pool of Bethesda, he felt like his only opportunity was to get in that water. And let me tell y'all something. Let me share this with you. Many of you will go all the way. You will be there at the time of the stirring of the angel going into the water. But you will not, you want somebody else to overlook, because everybody that was there was in the need for a healing. You want everybody else to sympathize with you more than you want them to sympathize with themselves. And that man sat there, and instead of doing stop, drop, and roll, if you in a wheelchair, roll your ass in the water. You that close to your miracle, your manifestation? You want somebody to pick you up and put you in the water. You want so much control in the outcome of your manifestation that you are willing to deny your manifestation. because it doesn't meet your conditions. If you got the dirt, roll in dirt to get in that water to get your healing. Cause the reason I know this, because when he spoke to Yahshua, that was more greater than the angel troubling the water. This is why I know that some of us, no matter what shows up in our life, we will never be able to recognize our blessing. He was standing there with the man that had the power to set him free. This is what happens when you get into a particular tradition and a way of doing magic, and you feel like that's the only way to get a manifestation. Being in the water when the angel troubled. And now you have the resurrection of life standing right before you. And he said, how can I get healed when I have no one to put me in the water? People, melanated people, nobody has to put you in the water. There's many methods, many paths in these ATRs to get you to your destination. Some gonna travel by boat. Some gonna travel by bus. Some people gonna travel by plane, and some people gonna walk it out. They're gonna walk it out. However you get there, long as you get there, and that should be your ultimate goal. That I fulfill my purpose of my soul. That in this time life I manifest and I finish my course. You trying to do everything else but that. And that's why you get reincarnated. Because you never fulfill your destiny. You never fulfill the reason why your soul came to this earth plane. Stop trying to fulfill everybody else's wants and desires. And figure out why you in the gym. Why you up under that weight? Why you working on everything that you do should be based on purpose. It should be intentional. Every pain I suffer, every sacrifice I suffer, is with purpose. I understand that in order for me to get to the top of the mountain, I got to climb from the base of that mountain. Your comfort is keeping you, is your prison. It's not other people. Somebody got to be Joshua and Caleb. The giants, you don't see yourself as a grasshopper. You don't see yourself as a victim. I would never teach a doctrine or a teaching that teach people to be a victim. I teach more than a conqueror. I can be victimized by somebody or somebody's, but never the victim. Because I'm already expecting you to try me. I know that on this earth plane, thieves are here, liars are here. All of this is down here. I don't care what tradition you get in. I don't care if you stay in your house. If your little baby got to lie on you, you're going to experience something. If your children got to do it to you, if you got to do it to yourself, you're still going to experience that. All you're doing is limiting the vessels that can be utilized. And so therefore, since you only have certain friends, somebody got to betray you. And if that's the vessel that your ancestors got to use to get you out your comfort zone, that's what it's going to be. I can't believe it was my best friend. Because you minimized their reach. And they had to use whatever they had to use to get you to the place of coming out your comfort zone. You're the one, the way that you function, making it hard for you. Because energy, frequency, and vibration travels the path of least resistance. I'm gonna let that sink in. Energy follows path of least resistance. If you wouldn't make your journey as hard as you do, you would be able to go through those processes and develop and evolve. Once again, it's not money. You can be challenged by anything. It don't matter where you. That's why they always say you can't run from you. No matter where you go, whatever you doing, whether you say yay, nay, all of that. If you think it matter, I'm 52 years old. And the moment I decided, thank you so much for the roses. At the moment I decided that I was going to do, because I had my own ideas how I want to live my life. But I already agreed. That soul contract. You ain't finna break that, bruh, man, sister, girl. I don't care what you have become when you got here. You know how people promise you, oh, when I get my lawsuit money, when I get this or that, I'm going to do that. And then when they get it, they say some things got to change around here. They reappropriate the funds because their feelings have changed. Because it's easy to say stuff when you ain't got it. It's easy to do right by something you don't possess. Let me see who you are once you possess it. You ever seen somebody get a little bit of money and you swear to God they changed? They didn't change. They are more honest about who they are because they don't have a need for you. You will be surprised at the people that are not even close to you. If they did not have a need for you, they won't fool with you. You can call them mama, daddy, friends, lovers, husbands, wives. You call them people, anything. The people that are going to be more authentic with you are the people that don't have a need for you. People that have a need for you are always going to be in conflict. Some people look at me as a source of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And some people see me as something that I got what they need. And they're going to try to get it out of me however they so choose. So when you are a resourceful person, for whatever your resources are, you should have the maturity to understand that everybody in your life ain't be in your life because they just love you. I just love Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. That ain't real in my life. Some people, you don't understand people's motive. So therefore you don't understand why they do what they do. On this earth plane, somebody will go after you and you will swear to God that they want you. They act like they got to have you. It's like the scripture with Tamar and her brother Abner. He just talking about he loved her so much, but when he had her, he had no more use for her. You better have somebody like Jacob with Rachel that willing to work for you. Because you don't listen to what a man say. I don't care if he gay, straight, or bi. He can be retarded. You watch what a man does. He was willing to go through deception of Laman to have Rachel as his wife. He was willing to marry her sister to get to her. Everybody that fish for you ain't willing to keep you. Everybody that's saying they want the ATRs and the African tradition, they're not willing to put that work in. I don't care what they label themselves as. It's that Miss Whitney. Child, I wish you were Whitney Houston. Only reason why if I had the power to resurrect Whitney Houston, that I wouldn't do it, is because she would go straight to Bobby. Oh Lord, it's talking about that somebody done flagged me for hate speech. Okay, I'll be on my I'm gonna be on my YouTube page. I can't hate speech, and I'm a Sagittarius. I could say some hateful things, but yeah, I love y'all. I got to go for they BAM account. Boy, I tell you, TikTok something else.